Hi, I'm Claire from Pearls and Tassels and welcome to the video tutorial for the wash day hat. So in today's tutorial I'm going to be using a tea towel and turning it into a hat for my 3-year-old. So let's get going. First we're going to cut out our pieces. Now as you can see, the template I have was before I had put the branding on it, however it is the same template. So when you're working with stripes, I think they look really cool vertically. You do you. Just making sure that grain line is nice and straight.
Take two of your pieces and place them with the inner side together. You are going to sew along from the point of the crown to the edge of the brim, using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. You are now going to press that seam open. Now we're going to secure the seam allowances using a 1/8 of an inch seam down either side. Now you're going to take another piece and we're going to use that to make half of our hat. So aligning it again with inner sides together, we're going to sew from the tip of the crown down to the edge of the brim. Take a pair of scissors and with the seam laying as sewn, clip off the triangle that sticks out beyond to give a nice clean seam allowance. We will now press that seam open and tack down the seam allowance with an 1/8 of an inch seam as we did with the last. And now we have half a hat. You're going to take your scissors again and tidy up that top by clipping off the overhanging triangles. You are now going to repeat the process with the 3 remaining pieces. To join your halves, align them with the inner sides together, being careful to align neatly at the top. Now you'll sew from brim to brim. You'll now press that seam open and stitch the seam allowances down again. Now we have our hat in one piece. It is time to tidy up all of those edges before you go and press up your brim. So as you go around to each join, it's a good idea to take your scissors and have a little bit of a look at them. And if they're a bit messy or they've been a bit pulled, just give them a little snip to make them nice and tidy and smooth. Once you've done that on all of those joints, you're able to take it to your ironing board and press that to the outer side of your hat up 1/2 an inch. Now we have it pressed up nicely, we're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew in our whippersnipper cord. The whippersnipper cord holds the brim out, and while it's still flexible and easily machine washable, it lets it stay a little less floppy and keeps the hat out of the wearer's eyes. Leaving an inch or two of whippersnipper cord hanging out from where you start sewing, tuck it into the fold, place it under your machine and sew at an 1/8 of an inch from the raw edge. When you are close to being back to the beginning, take a pair of scissors, not your good fabric scissors, and snip your whippersnipper cord so that you have a few inches of excess, and that will get tucked in to what you've already sewn to make a nice tidy overlap. Once that's tucked in nicely, continue along and finish your seam. Remember to go backwards and forwards at the beginning or where it joins up to leave a nice strong seam. And there you have it, a wash day hat. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoyed sewing.